guys, welcome back to my channel. I have an awesome real estate agent from the great state of Texas, Nacole Ricks. Good morning, Nacole.
Good morning.
So let people know about yourself.
Well, guys, my name is Nacole Ricks, and I specialize in luxury homes here in McAllen, Texas, and I service all of South Texas from the Hill Country around the Austin area all the way down to South Padre Island. I have developed an amazing team of real estate agents here in the RGV in San Antonio. And so they service people in residential, commercial, and we do a ton of real estate transactions, helping families, helping individuals, and that's who we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you get to this point? What inspired you to be where you're at today?
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. Well, a lot of it comes from your childhood.
Okay, yeah.
The way that you're raised, and I think that, you know, it's so funny how you know me, right?
Yes.
And seeing me in a different light, but I came from a different childhood completely. I didn't grow up with, you know, a mom wearing high heels and a dress all day.
Yes.
I grew up on a horse ranch and
Yeah.
with a really different lifestyle, and learning how life can be very hard and how you can build your life from where you are, no matter where that is, to being whoever you want to be. And I think that that's something that I realized, and my mother taught me very well, that I could do whatever I wanted, but at the end of the day, it really had to do with what I wanted. And I saw that, you know, working 18 hours a day, you saw,
Yeah.
working 18 hours a day and, you know, being homeschooled, so I was homeschooled.
Yes.
And that really didn't educate me very well as far as books, but it educated me very well on life. And that's what I feel like has helped me become where I'm at and where I'm going with it. At the end of the day, wearing boots and jeans was not what I wanted my future to be.
Yeah.
It taught me a lot of lessons, and I'm very blessed that God did put me in that situation.
Yes.
So I did learn how to be a strong, dedicated person who knows how to work hard and appreciates hard work. And I took that into where I thought it would lead to a future.
Yeah.
So I, at 17, was like, hey, I'm totally done with this horse thing.
Okay, yeah.
And I said, you know what, this is too much for me. It was just a lot of hard work, and it got to the point where I got a little burned out with it. I love what I did, but I was just a little burned out. So I said, you know what, I think that education is the way out.
Yes.
That was my idea. I said I need to go to college, right? So I started studying when I was 17. I studied 9 months, 40 hours a week, just math. That's all I did. I was like, I'm gonna go take my SAT, I'm gonna go to university, I'm gonna become a doctorate. Like, I had the whole plan, right? I was like, education's the way.
When you're 17, everything is, I already know what I want to do sometimes.
Exactly. But I did it. And I did get into college. My goal was to be a 4.0 student. I've never allowed myself to be average. So my goal was to be 4.0 Dean's List, and I did it, right? After not really having a formal education. Of course, like, the Texas history professor looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, no, literally, I've never read any of these books. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's really hard for me, okay? It's really hard.
Yeah. It's understandable. We all grow up different. We all have different paths that lead us to where we want to be at one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I ended up working for the Dean of the College of Business here
Yes.
at UTRGV. Well, before it was UTPA. And so we did that, and I had a lot of connections because I worked directly with him. So in that, I learned a lot about EDCs and chambers and fundraising and all kinds of sort of different things that led me into where I'm at now. So slowly, God sets you on a path. That's what I believe happened, right? God sets you on a path, and you see yourself going direction. I was going to be a doctorate. Like, I'm going to get my doctorate. I'm going to do this. All I needed to do was get to college. That's where God wanted me. And then from there, he showed me a different route, and ended up going into more of PR, marketing, advertising, that type of thing, and loved it. I love it. So from there, it just keeps growing, and I ended up in real estate. That was not my plan.
No, real estate?
Never was my plan, but God had a different plan. So I ended up coming into real estate, and when I did, I thought I was only gonna do investment properties and commercial. That was my plan. Never am I gonna do a house. Guys, never say never. That's all I do. I love them. I love luxury properties. I love helping first-time home buyers, and I love the residential industry. So came into it and just hit it right off the bat. With very blessed in the beginning, and then just kept growing from there. So once I started my own team, I wanted to share my knowledge with them. So as a real estate agent, I came into it knowing that I was going to start investing in properties, and knowing that I was going to start learning how to do wholesaling or how to find properties off market or whatever it is, right? And business took over, so I kind of started working a lot. But at the end of the day, that's what I saw was opportunity as I grew in real estate. Is more opportunities to buy properties, more opportunities to be a part of a group of individuals who are building wealth.
Like a joint venture or partnerships, things like that.
Well, I was the small brokerage when I first started. I was there for 3 months, and let's just say that it was a great experience, but it wasn't the right place for me.
Okay.
So I grew past that within a short period of time, and I had a phone call with this guy. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, sounds cool, right? But when I had the conversation with the second guy, and he was from San Antonio, he told me about this company that was building wealth, and I was like, okay, whatever, right? And he kept talking, and it got me very intrigued, because you know this, as real estate agents, we end up 80 years old still putting signs in the yard.
Yeah, that's true. Like sometimes a real estate agent can see a great investment, but doesn't want to pull the trigger for themselves to build their wealth.
And because paycheck to paycheck, right?
Yeah, that's
true.
So
we live commission to commission, and we're practically unemployed all the time.
Yes.
Right? So we work, but it's like, oh, well, we got to get another job, right?
Yeah.
Pay another house.
Get the next check. If I didn't make any money this month, then I have to work double hard, the next month or the next 2 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is with real estate, a lot of real estate agents come into it not being educated that there's more out there than that.
Yeah.
And so they just continue doing it for 50, 60 years. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that I would like to do something more than that. So with the company that was brought to my attention was eXp Realty, which I'm still happily with. And with that company, there's 4 different streams of income. What? You mean more income than just selling a house?
Yeah.
Oh, well, tell me more, right?
Yeah.
So that's what intrigued me, was that portion of it. So that's why I started with the company that I am, and that's how I'm building my future now.
That's awesome. That's amazing. My channel is built for people to see different incomes, different paths, different vehicles for them to retire one day. So how do you see the market right now here in Texas?
Well, Texas is amazing right now.
Yes.
We are absolutely on fire. There's no other way to put it. I mean, there's so many people wanting to purchase homes. Interest rates are so low. And so with the demand being so high for homes, we've got people moving and shaking all day long, right? Now, there is a little caveat to that in Texas right now, is there is such a surplus of demand.
Yes.
And we have very low inventory.
Yes, we hear that every day, that the inventory is very low. There's more real estate agents than there are homes available in the state of Texas. So, it's the top 20 are making 80% of the deals.
Always though, but that's always. That's not just right now.
Yeah. Well, the cream of the crop are the people that are out there, the sellers. It's a seller's market. If you're a seller agent, that's where it's at to be right now.
Well, at the end of the day, with us having such low inventory, and this is across the entire state of Texas, is we have very little homes available to purchase, and we have more buyers. So that's going to increase the price, right? It's simple supply and demand, and with that, the prices have skyrocketed. Some areas are seeing an increase of 10, 20%. Other areas are seeing an increase higher than that. And that's with people coming into it saying, hey, interest rates are so low, let me go buy, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that now we're competing with cash buyers.
Yes.
Like, what's going on with that, right? So we have people who are migrating to Texas, which is amazing, you know? I mean, everyone is just a huge influx of people from California, Florida, Illinois, Colorado. I mean, we have them coming from everywhere. And so in that, a lot of people are moving to, let's say, like the Austin area, but that overflows to the San Antonio area.
Yes.
And, we have a lot of people moving to the Valley. There are so many people right now that are wanting to buy. And I believe, this is just my 2 cents, right, is that the number of people who are not selling, there's 2 reasons people are not selling right now. One, because they're working from home.
Yes.
Okay, which was a COVID thing, right? Everyone's working from home. You can't buy because, I mean, you can't sell because you have your house full of your work. How are you supposed to pack? It gets very complicated, right? Okay, so you're working from home. Number two is COVID, right? So that's everyone's afraid of people coming into their homes, which, by the way, we haven't had any problems with that, but that's a thing that people worry about, right? And then number three is the fact that now they're realizing they don't have a place to go.
That's exactly what we've been talking about, like with my forums and people like that. It's, I can sell my house for $500,000, but where am I going to buy another home, you know, comparable to where I'm at right now for the same amount? I can't move anywhere else. You know,
that's
happening.
Now it's a huge issue, right? So because people were working from home, people, because of COVID, it caused the issue, because that's what's caused it, is now we don't have any place for them to go. So there's two different things that are going on with that, and I see a very bright future. I know that some people are maybe not as optimistic as I am about this, but yeah. I see that it will balance out in the aspects of people selling, and it will be towards the end of this year, hopefully, that we start to see that happen. But at the end of the day, that's what we're dealing with. It's a great market for sellers. You're making tons of money. I've had sellers make 47% over value.
Wow, that's great for one
in
year.
The valley.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's growing. It's growing. It's growing.
It really is.
Okay, so what would you tell a first-time home buyer? You know, I'm interested in buying my first home in about 6 months from now. What were the things that I would need or, you know, be prepared for?
So as far as a first-time home buyer, you need to make sure that your credit is on check, right?
Yes.
When I say that, you know, you start looking at your credit score. The higher your credit score, the lower interest rates you're going to get, the more money you're going to save over the long haul.
Yes.
Okay, number one. Number two is save. Save money, right? The more money that you have in your bank account, the stronger buyer you are, okay? Why does that even matter? Well, because you're competing right now.
Yes.
It's a very competitive buyer's situation. You have to really compete. And so if I'm putting on a contract that you can put 20% down, or you can put 10% down or 5%, you're a stronger buyer than, let's say, an FHA loan at 3.5%, right? So the more money you can save, the better, right? And then number three is start looking at what you like and what you don't like. There's a lot of research that goes into that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Location is very important, you know? The style home that you like is very important. And then, you know, in that case, what I like to always say is the very first thing I would do in talking about price of a home is talk to a lender.
Talking to a lender is very important. Yeah. They're
going to point out, hey guys, that car you bought 6 months ago, now you can only afford, you know, $250 instead of $300, right?
Yeah.
Because you got a better car, your payment's higher. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. And so that's a big thing. Now, of course, making sure that you have a plan with your real estate agent and with your lender. We start working with people way before you buy. You know, we're starting to plan out like that 6 months or that 1 year as far as, hey, I want to save this much money. I need to save $10,000, $15,000, whatever it is. And then I want to go ahead and do this. Well, way it can be done is by paying off that one credit card that the lender says to pay off. This is very important, guys. If you just randomly pay something off, it may not help you the same way that the lender says, well, if you pay off this one right here, your debt to income is going to do to X, Y, Z, and it's going to make you afford more, right? So a lot of people come to me and they're like, hey, I'm self-employed.
1099s.
I can pay for the house. Well, your taxes don't say so, right?
Yeah, that's a big one, because like me, I'm a self-employed. So I want to get the most amount of deductions as I possibly can. So if someone is making, you know, $500,000, but they're deducting $450,000 a year, well, their income is only $50,000. So their debt to income ratio is not going to work to buy a home.
Yep.
It just happens like that. And no one wants to pay taxes, but you got to work with your lender. You got to work with your real estate agent to say, you know what, you got to pay a little bit more this year and show a bigger income. And for the next 2 years, we'll show you that you can get into the door to your dream home.
That's exactly what I did. Guys, I'm a real estate agent. I'm self-employed, 1099. I am pretty much unemployed all the time, right? But the thing is that with that being said, I had to look at when I wanted to buy a house 2 years in advance. So anyone who's self-employed, you got to look at 2 years, okay? So in that case, you got to, first of all, be in that industry for 2 years. And second of all, you got to plan about 2 years in advance, right? So because they average your income for the last 2 years. So with me, my CPA, I have a CPA, okay? He told me, are you sure you want to do this?
Yes.
I said I wanted to pay a big chunk of money to the IRS when I didn't have to.
Yeah.
He could have deducted that super easy, right?
Yes. You know, it happens to me. You know, I don't want to pay $30,000 a year. I don't want to pay $20,000. But you know, to show that income, I need to pay it to get to my next deal. You know, it just happens.
Absolutely. And so those deals you were talking about, please, you know, share what we're talking about. Not just talking about a house, right? So we're talking about you can buy one property first, and it may not be a house, it can be a fourplex as a primary residence.
Yes.
Did you do that?
Yeah, that's what I did. That was my first vehicle. So, you know, I purchased the fourplex. You know, I decided to live into one and then rent out the other three. And with those other three are paying down my mortgage. They're helping with my better credit, and they're paying down the entire loan by myself with these other people.
And he lived for free.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, those three people are paying for you to live. So at the end of the day, you can live for free if you pay a little extra taxes.
Yeah.
Right? And then shortly after buying that fourplex, you can go buy a house, or you can go buy another fourplex or whatever it is, right? And you still have very little capital invested. This is a very important lesson, is you don't have to put 20% down for your first home or your first fourplex. If you are a first-time home buyer, go buy a fourplex and put 3.5% down.
Yes, that is a great vehicle to start off your real estate empire. You know, I was 1099, so I wasn't able to get the FHA, but you know, I do plan in the future to get another FHA. You can have other loans out and still get an FHA.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 1 year, you can refinance it into a conventional loan and then go out there and go find another, you know, first-time home buyer loan again.
So the importance of keeping your capital, right?
Yeah.
You can then remodel, because if you have a little extra cash, you can go change out the countertops, right?
Yeah.
And increase the equity in your property.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to rent them for more, right? I have a client, I mean, smart young couple, like 25 years old, right? And they were like, hey, I want to go buy a property. And so we talked about a fourplex. So they bought a fourplex. We went and looked at, I guess, probably 8 of them, right? We found one that I was like, hey, this is it. This is it. I promise you, like, this is the one. So they said, okay, right? And they were written for, I think, like $600 a month. Super cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
really, you know, that's hard, right? When you're looking at how much money you're going to bring in for your mortgage, right? Because you're not really living for free if they're only renting for $600, right? So moved in at $600. They bought the fourplex, got a slamming deal. I mean, like, wow, we got a really good deal on it. So we get there. Well, these people had a horrible experience with their previous landlord, right? He was a builder. Anyways,
A
and he
slumlord.
didn't really
We call them
care.
slumlords.
Slumlords, yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to do the repairs. They don't want to, you know, keep the tenants happy.
So the AC wasn't working, all this stuff, right? So of course they go in there and they fix it because we got a really good home warranty. Important, this is not cash, guys. This is a home warranty that was put into the deal. Then now you get to call a warranty company and pay $75 and be like, come fix the AC, man, right?
Yeah.
So we did this, and now they have increased that rent from $600 in only 6 months now to $750 per unit.
Wow.
So now they're ready to go buy a house. Let's go rent out the 4th unit. Let's go buy a house now.
And now you're going to live for free again, with the others paying off that mortgage and paying off your next mortgage, or even helping, supplementing your second mortgage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works. You know, building wealth through real estate. It can be really simple. It can be really difficult, but you know, these are all different types of vehicles. Those
Absolutely.
are great. Those are great. That's a great answer. So I have a question for you. How do you see your investments? You know, you might not want to retire one day. Maybe you do want to retire. You know, how do you see yourself in 20 to 50 years? What vehicles are you using for yourself to retire?
So this is a really good question. I'm not really sure if I'm going to go public with it, but I guess I will. I tell my very close confidants what my plans are.
Yeah.
I came into real estate knowing that I was going to retire in 15 years. This was 4 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
So when I said, it was December, I quit my job, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't want to work here anymore. So I quit my job, and a few minutes later I said, well, let's start investing in real estate. I'll get my license, right?
Yeah.
So I signed up for classes in 16 days. I had done all the classes, and I applied for my real estate license.
16 days.
16 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know? Wow.
Motivated. When you want something, go
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
So I got my real estate license almost 4 years ago. It'll be 2 days. It'll be 4 years. And I counted from my 15-year plan the day I decided I was going to be a real estate agent. Right? My day didn't start when I got my license. My day started the day I decided I was going to be a real estate agent. From that point forward, I was going to be retired in 15 years.
Wow.
So I got 11 years left, guys. And so with that, I really found a couple different vehicles, one real estate investments and one the real estate company that I'm with. So those two things together is how I plan to do that. Every single month I sell real estate. Every single month my agents on the team, they sell real estate. So that's two, right? And then on top of that, I have other investments with the company that I'm with. I have two. One being that I have income that comes in every single month where agents across the United States and other countries are selling real estate, and I'm making money off of that, right?
Okay.
So that's number three. Plus, I get awarded stock with the company that I'm with. Every single time I sell my first transaction of the year, every single time another agent comes on, anytime that I cap, anytime I get given stock, just here you go. And that stock started when I got it was $4.60. And right now, when it went up, it's $168 a share.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they split 2-1.
When was this?
This was 3 weeks ago when
Wow.
it split 2-1. And that is just incredible, right? So that little bit that I'm gifted. Guys, I am gifted this, right? Plus I buy it at a 10% discount as well.
Yes.
So that's already the fourth way, right? There are so many avenues, especially through real estate. And the way that I've decided to do it is that I will definitely retire in 11 years.
Yeah, you have a set
no
goal.
issues, right?
Yeah.
That also includes a lot of real estate investments with actual property, right? I have Airbnbs, I have fourplexes, those types of things are the way that I plan on moving forward in that. I guess in the way that I will never really retire. No one will, right?
Yeah.
But I will retire from selling homes, or I will retire from coaching.
And I tell people, I want to be the old man just signing checks and saying, where did we send this money to? Or why is this so expensive? And just writing checks all day. That's how I'm going to retire. Just sending checks.
His hand's going to start hurting.
Yeah, just signing my name and sending out
Carpal
these checks.
tunnel, guys.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I was, I'm at a great point right now. I just turned 34. Last year I could have retired. With the income that I'm already, receiving from my rentals, I could have said, you know what, I can retire already at 33 years old. But I don't. I want to increase my empire. I want to increase my value. I want to go out there, like just even starting this channel. I want to build my wealth so I can make even more money and it just constantly growing while I'm no longer there. That's the goal. And just pass it on to my family or my friends or my kids. That's the goal.
That is the goal. Being that starter takes one risk taker
Yes.
to develop generational wealth. I read that yesterday, guys. This is the perfect opportunity, right? I literally read that yesterday. So I was looking, because Grant Cardone, which most of us know who Grant Cardone is, he just partnered with eXp Realty.
Okay.
So him and his wife joined as well, just to the same level as like I am, right? And then they shared, as of yesterday, it was a announcement that now we have access to all Grant Cardone University.
Okay, yeah.
So I plan to start that like tomorrow. Let's go, right?
Grant has an amazing motivational speaker. He talks about real estate, how he started his own business with just one single family home. Mm-hmm. And just built and built and built over the years, and he has a great, amazing story. We can see it on YouTube. So that's pretty great. That's pretty amazing. I have another question for you. Like, is there something, you have amazing success stories so far. Is there any kind of failures that you've learned from as a younger person now that you're you're getting up on age? Is there something that you realize that I'll never do that again at 17 or 19 or 20?
Absolutely. I've tried to not only grow professionally but grow personally. And being homeschooled, there was a significant amount of growth that I needed to have. I could smile, kiss baby, shake hands, the whole shebang, right? Because it's sales, right? But I couldn't really balance my own emotions and relationships in my life. And so I've had to really learn how to do that, and definitely failed more than once. Go ask anyone that knows me. I have the biggest heart, but I don't know how to show it.
Oh.
And that's where it's really hard for me, where I have gone into situations where I could have shown my emotions more, or I could have done something and it did hurt someone else, not knowing that I really didn't know how to show it, which is something that I'm learning now, reading a lot of books on that kind of stuff right now. And so in failure, I was very, very sensitive. very sensitive. I mean, I was a perfectionist. I could never fail. If I failed, the world ended. And when I say I failed, if it was just, if I walked away from here today and Justin said to me, oh, well, it was a good interview, I would have gone and cried. Like, I had to be exceptional. I had to be the best, and I didn't know how else to fill my tank, right?
Wow.
And so with that being said, I didn't deal with failure very well in any way. I had this thing where I had to make everyone happy all the time.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. So I constantly was experiencing failure over and over again. And I suffer from severe depression because of it. Wow. And at the end of the day, I've dealt with so many failures, right? Because we all do. That's how we grow.
Yes.
That I think the biggest growth I've had is how I deal with my failures, right? And growing and stepping and making that next step forward when maybe I didn't, accomplish exactly what I wanted. I've learned that it happens the way that it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Every single time. And I have now, as of 2021, that's a new thing for me. As of 2021, my New Year's resolution was actually just to trust, to be at peace and trust everything that's happening. If someone walks out of my life or someone walks in my life, they're supposed to for a reason.
Yeah.
And I just put my hands up, praise God for it, and let Him be in control of that. So I'm dealing with failures in a completely different way than I used to.
Well, thank you for opening up to us. Are there any hobbies that distract you to other than real estate? Or something that you like to do?
People do say I talk about work like 24/7 because I do.
I talk about real estate all the time. I want those are like real estate in the future, and arms and caps and debt to ratio incomes and things like that all the time. But is there something that you like to do other than real estate?
So I'm definitely an outdoorsy person.
Yeah.
Even though I don't look like it, I look like I would want to be inside all the time. But I grew up on a horse ranch, so I would love to be outdoors. So any kind of hiking, camping, those types of things. But the one thing that I probably do the most, just because it's easily accessible, is actually country dancing. I love to go country dancing. So that's something that on, once a week, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can make enough time to go out and, and dance and have a drink and kind of relax a little bit. Definitely, I would say country dancing and hiking. Those are the two things I typically get a chance to do right now since things are so busy.
Are there any podcasts that you like to listen to or motivational books that say, this pumps me up for, my day-to-days, getting my information, just learning about things?
So there is two. I'm sure you've heard of both of them. So Bigger Pockets.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely listen to a lot of Bigger Pockets. Great real estate investment. I mean, everything real estate investments. If you want to learn about wholesaling, if you want to learn about investing in multi-units, whatever, they talk about it. And then the next one, for stocks is Morning Brew.
Yeah. Oh, great. So thank you so much. How do people how do they reach you? How do they connect with you?
So you can reach me on my cell phone. You can reach me on social media. The website is alignpropertygroup.com if you want to check out listings that we have, or if y'all are sellers and interested in selling a property, we can give you guys a free consultation. My cell phone number directly to me is 956-207-0456, and I answer 24/7, so you can reach me anytime.
Well, thank you so much for taking out time from your day. And thank you guys so much for listening to our little podcast today, our little video. Have a great one.
Thanks, guys.